New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
New Thought Media Network proudly presents On Purpose with Reverend Beth Linguri. Wednesdays at 7 a.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Central European Time. Come find purpose, nurture growth, and live your passion. And now On Purpose with Reverend Beth Linguri.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. So good to have everyone back this week. Welcome to On Purpose, and I'm Reverend Beth Linguri, your host for this series. So thank you for comments and what we've received from everyone, suggestions. We keep on sending your comments, and we're going to do some of those things as you've suggested. So today, we begin a new series of On Purpose. The more sharing that we have among our listeners, the more support we can offer each other with challenging parts of our journey. So we're going to create an online group where you can connect with others in the community. Another addition in this series is that we will choose a theme each month. For March, we'll be focusing on how the blocks and beliefs of the personal self can get in the way of knowing our impersonal self, our soul. And we'll add some longer sessions in another time frame with some interviews from those who have actually put these practices into their life and embodied it. And we will also rebroadcast this weekly session in a European time zone on the weekend for those who may be unavailable during the week. So all the details of all these changes we'll be sharing with you as they are put into practice. So now I invite you into the sanctuary of this moment, to join me in reflecting on that deeper purpose for being in this body and in this life. And so simply take a breath and close your eyes, symbolically closing off your outer world. Be here in this place now and join me in sharing this intention. I seek to uncover the purpose for my life, the gift of life that I have received. I know that as I focus my intention, consult my intuition, and engage my imagination, I will uncover this purpose for my life, and I will live in harmony with it, and I will create the life I was born to live. So those of you who've been following along in the past weeks know that we reflect each week on Ernest Holmes' words in his classic book, This Thing Called You. And this week, I'm inviting you to focus on chapter 10. Here in this chapter, he points out that there are physical laws in the universe. We call it science. And you use these every day. You turn on the heating in your home and you expect to become warm. You turn on the stove to cook your food. You turn on a light and expect it to illuminate the dark. You go for a walk and you don't fear flying off into the sky. We use these every day in all parts of our life, and we accept them without hesitation. And spiritual laws are the same. Once we understand them, we can use them harmoniously for our own good. And we experience the results. So the opening words of this chapter are as follows. Listen. Listen to the words. If you could become consciously and subconsciously aware, even for one moment, of your true spiritual perfection, there would come such a conversion of your mind as instantly to heal your physical body. To heal your physical body. And remember these words. If you could become consciously and subjectively aware for one moment, you could heal your physical body. You are to find the roots of your life in pure spirit and see the basic unity of all. And know that you are one with this spirit, with this creative energy. One with it. So he invites us to lose your sense of being separated from your good. Thinking you have to work hard to get it or go here, this, be, doing. So lose your sense of separation and you will find that you are united with it. We are individualized, but we're not separate. We're individualized expressions of spirit. Sometimes it's helpful for me to think of an analogy, something to compare it with. And I often think of the waves on the ocean. And if you sit by the ocean and watch the waves, you'll see that the waves form a structure called a wave. But they are intimately connected with the ocean at the same time. And although in our daily life it's often difficult to remember this, we are always connected with the source of life, with that energy of the universe, always connected. And since we are connected, we have the same powers, the creative powers of the universe. The universe is always creating new life. It's springtime here in the Northern Hemisphere, and new life is popping out everywhere. I was out for a walk the other day, and there are daffodils and magnolias and all of the things just bursting, ready to spring into life any minute. This creative energy of the universe is always going on, and it's often helpful to observe it in nature to remind us of it. And the words that we speak are the creative medium of the universe. The words that you speak create your reality. What you say about yourself, what you believe about yourself, you become. So what are you saying about yourself? Here are some of the things I hear. Oh, silly me. Oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, I'm confused. These are very difficult times. I'm not this. I don't have this. I need this. I want this. All negations, expressions of lack, expressions that we don't have what we need or what we want. And when we say these things that we don't have them, we get more of them. That's what we get, lack. So why do we do this? Why do we say these things about ourselves? We know better. I know better, but I forget. Just the other day, I carelessly made a mistake and, oh, stupid me. But my daughter was close by and reminded me, now that's not a kind thing to say to yourself. So where did these things come from? Did we learn them as a child to avoid shame? Did we discover that when we made a mistake, if we put ourselves down, we could avoid punishment? We would get sympathy. Then it becomes a habit, and we do it without thinking, without reflecting. So we create this lack of coherence between our brain and our heart. Our heart knows what it is that serves us, that serves our purpose. But we're saying things differently with our intellect. And so this lack of coherence creates stress in our life. So how do we go about changing this? How do we go about responding to this in a way that will allow us to uncover that truth about ourselves? That we are connected with the divine. We are the expressions of the divine. And that we're whole, perfect, and complete just the way we are in our impersonal self, in our soul self. So Ernest Holmes writes, if we could consciously and subjectively become aware of our true spiritual perfection, if we could consciously and subjectively become aware of our true spiritual perfection, there would come such a conversion of your mind as to instantly heal your physical body or bring peace or abundance or anything else that we feel is lacking in our life. So these negative thoughts that we keep turning over in our heads, self-talk every day or expressions that we use are just habits. They're just programmed in our subconscious. We say these things without being aware or becoming conscious. And when we say them, we separate ourselves from our good. So how about changing this? Has that happened to you recently? If you dare, share in the chat. Because the first step is awareness. Recognition and awareness. And this takes courage. You cannot change what you do not know consciously. That which you are aware of, you can change. You can become conscious. So your endeavor is not to locate the divine presence or awaken the activity of the law. It is instead to become aware of this presence and its activity flowing through you. It's so simple. There is no struggle. It's really a process of surrender, to give up the struggle. Surrender with this ease and grace. Surrender to the presence. Move awareness from the personal self to this impersonal self that is deep within. Another point that I'd like to share with you is this idea of the difference between outlining and choosing. Ernest Holmes writes that as an individualized expression of the divine, that you cannot escape the necessity of choice. You do the choosing. The law, the spiritual law, does the outlining. Like another example, if you plant a tomato seed in the ground, you choose to grow tomatoes. You just put the seed in the ground, you water it, but you don't pull it up and look at it. You don't outline how many leaves it's going to have, what it's going to do. You don't outline the process. That is already taken care of by the creative process. All you do is plant the seed. But if you don't plant the tomato seed, you don't have a tomato plant. And if you plant a tomato plant, you don't have beans. You choose. But that is the choosing. But the outlining of how it happens and the whole process is taken over by the universal intelligence. So when you affirm that divine intelligence is attracting certain conditions to you, you have established your union with good. And you can go about your everyday life without thinking about it, without anxiety, knowing that the law is working for you. The law is the doer, not a knower. Therefore, it is up to you to keep these things and these images clear so that they may reflect themselves in your life. One of the practices that I have found so helpful in changing these subconscious beliefs, besides letting them become aware, letting them come into your conscious mind, is to engage your imagination. Engage your imagination. See things already complete. You create the picture, and then the law can fill in how it happens. And to use affirmations. I learned affirmations way many years ago from Louise Hay. You've probably heard of Louise Hay, and she believed very strongly, or knew very strongly, that our thoughts create our reality. And she tried to figure out a way that we could change our thoughts and bring positive thoughts into our lives. And so she created this idea of affirmations. And you can create your own affirmations and take them into your daily practice. Here's one I love. And I'll read it for you. And you just close your eyes perhaps and imagine that you're saying this. I am the presence of radiant joy. I am the presence of radiant joy, divine love, and perfect power. I am the presence of radiant joy, divine love, and perfect power. And Louise suggests that we look in the mirror every morning and look at ourselves and say these things to ourselves, reminding ourselves of who we are. Remember who you are. A divine being, a gift to the universe, here to give your gift. So I invite you to encourage you, Asoga, to embrace this practice of affirmations along with your daily centering practice. Centering. I call it centering. You could call it meditation or prayer or presencing or awareness or whatever word works for you. Just choose what sounds good for you and what will remind you so you'll feel good about doing it. And so through this practice, you carve out a retreat for yourselves, a retreat from your environment, from the needs, the cravings and drives of your physical body. When you do this, carve out this retreat for yourself, you'll become defined by what you want to become and not live by default. You will initiate change. So let's join together in our centering practice. It's a 3-step practice. For those of you who are new to our broadcast, I've talked about this before, but I'll go through it again to remind everyone. It's a 3-step practice, and it engages the 3 I's. I, capital I. Intention, intuition, and imagination. And engaging these 3 I's, we create harmony and joy in our life. We establish our union with good. And we become active in engaging the law to work in your life. And then we'll have the results you want. You will choose. You won't be living by default. So if you're driving or in some way working with machinery, etc., of course, you won't want to follow this practice now, but you can just listen in and try it later. So create your intention for today. What is your intention? One word. And just write it in the chat if you're able. Just to add energy to that idea, that one word. What is your intention for today's centering practice? Or you can bring a question if there's something that's confusing in your mind or a choice that you need to make. You could bring that question as well. So simply become quiet and Take a breath. Take a breath. Listen deeply. Move into that still place within. So we created this intention. Now we will move in to consult our intuition. Moving with the breath. So breathe out, release, breathe in, connect with the universe. Breathing in, connect. Breathing out, release. In, connect. Out, release anything that doesn't serve you, that is not here now. And move in to the stillness, the quiet, the silence of your mind and of your self-talk and all of those things. And just go into that inner center, into your deep heart space, deep within. Take a breath and go a little deeper. And in that deep place, allow whatever it is to come forth. It can come forth as a word, as a picture, as an emotion, as a feeling. Just note what it is that comes forth. You can use this time to engage your imagination as well by visualizing a beautiful place, a beautiful, peaceful place that you like to be, and see yourself there in that space. Observing the colors and the figures and seeing who's there. And in that moment, you go deeper into your heart space, into your impersonal self, your soul, your perfect being. And as you do this at home or in your own time, stay there as long as you like. It may be a few minutes in the beginning, but you'll find that with time, it will be longer and longer. And now we close this beautiful space together with gratitude. Being grateful adds energy because you're accepting what already is. You're thankful for it. You know it is already in place. And you surrender and just allow any doubts to fall away, dissolve. And as you embrace this centering practice, you will know what is yours to do. Your purpose, our purpose, my purpose is always to be of service and to love. And as anything comes up in your awareness, if it's in service and in love, it is an expression of your purpose. And you will be guided on all the specifics. And things will open, blocks will fall away, ideas will come, people will come into your life, circumstances will come. You'll think it's a miracle. It will seem like a miracle, but it's simply the unfolding of the spiritual law in your life. as you have made a choice to engage your impersonal self and live from your inside rather than from all of the outside. You'll know what yours is to do. So before we close our session today, I'm going to take a little time to express some gratitude myself. I want to give a special shout out and thanks to Dr. Daniel Schwenger, who is hopefully listening live today. If you hear Daniel, just say hello. Who has been so instrumental in encouraging me to do these podcasts, these broadcasts, and to share this gift of mine. And maybe Daniel will come on the show sometime and tell you some things about his life that have just been amazing. I also want to thank Fiona, the producer, for all her work behind the scenes, and Reverend Briz, or Reverend Robert, and New Thought Media Network for creating this opportunity. I invite you to consider making a donation, a regular donation. There's you can see now on the banner that's coming up how you can do that. Even just €5 a week or a month, if that's what you can share. It will mean such a difference. It will be that vote of encouragement, that vote of gratitude for this station and all it represents, and the opportunities it brings. And then once again, I will close with a poem today. This week, I have chosen to read the lyrics from a song that Michael Gott sings on one of his albums. I think it's amazing. I think that's the name of the album, but you can Google it if you want to listen to Michael sing it. It's amazing. It's amazing. But I simply will read the lyrics. They're written by Carol Maloney and Michael Gott, and listen to them as perhaps hearing the truth about you, about yourself, and see what comes forth for you as you listen to this lyrics of this poem. And as we close with the poem, I will simply close in silence. So, I've spent so much time thinking about all the things I'm not, ignoring my own gifts for the things I haven't got. So much pain, so many years convinced I'm not enough. You know, it's tough to see the light when shadows fall. I've been burdened by my history, carrying my past. It's time to let it all fall away and just live my life at last. What if I could say goodbye to the lies of yesterday? What if I decide to let it go? What if now I start to be the one I'm meant to be? What if now I begin to shine my light? What if today is the day I celebrate the beauty of my song? What if now I finally let my spirit sing? Everything would find its perfect place somehow. Yes, everything would find its perfect place somehow. What if now? The voices in my memory are heartless and unkind. I would never say that to anyone, what I say to myself in my own mind. It is time to love myself for what I am and for what I'm not. I've got to find the strength to free my soul. It's time to love myself and find the strength to free my soul. Namaste. See you next week.
Thanks for watching. Join us again next Wednesday for more of On Purpose with Reverend Beth Linguri, only on New Thought Media Network. Learn more at www.ntmedia.org.